So with this, let's now review today's video. All right, one action selling. And we're gonna also review Alex's sales document. Right, it's gonna be easy. Alex sales. All right, great. Yes, I'm breathing the script, so we have another 20 minutes, and then we're gonna write the summary. Yeah, it's all right, a little bit of personal reflection, man. I've realized that, my best friend gave me a little bit of a tobacco solution, kind of that type of tobacco that's mixed with ashes and is applied through the nose before ceremonial work, and so yeah, that is it is very interesting how disempowering it feels if you have a bad habit that has power over you. So I just gave it back to him and said, okay, it was very insightful. It really helped me kind of wind down during this week, but I also realized, man, how everything can get out of balance with that. And I just can't afford it. Like with the new influx of resources and excitement, I just need to own up to the things that are coming up, meaning the live event as well as all of the client relationships, right? Because we're going to have like 4 weeks, and then the event is going to be here, and then we are already looking into 2026, which is going to be a very interesting, very defining year. But we're going to be better set up, and we're going to actually start to be out of trouble, I guess, by the end of it. So it will be like another hard year. But by the end of the next year, we really should be out of trouble. So I can definitely do that. I can definitely do that and start scrambling out of it. And so yeah, all of that is going to come together. Life can change, and I'm feeling so happy and so grateful and so confident about all of the things that I'm doing here, as I am kicking this last bad habit that is crawled back in. Yeah, I want to be very mindful, very mindful, very careful. But now that I finally see, it was also like a little bit of a kind of mental break, mental holiday. And I'm like, it wasn't that bad. I still have done the things that I needed to do, but I spent probably like 10 hours this week on that. More than one per day, probably much more than that, probably 20, 30 hours in aggregate on this bad habit. Yeah, it's so interesting, man. It's so interesting how much time accumulatively that brings in, and how all of these things are working together. And so yeah, probably gonna say that to my good friend in Germany as well, that if these things have power over you and you feel like there's nothing that you can do, you just need to keep going with these things because they are just what you need for some kind of reason. It's not a great situation. It's not a great feeling to be going through life and being dependent on things. It's not a great feeling at all, especially for me. I do not like that. And so yeah, I've worked hard and pushed myself to that and out of that to do the things that are required in order to become truly free and truly independent, which is very exciting. And now I'm here, and now I'm doing the things that I know I need to be doing. And with that, let's get into the sales content. Yeah, there's so much more, so much different things that we can do than just snorting tobacco. Obviously, but like we are going to make the content. So one action selling, one product, one book, leverage how much money it fetches for the same activity. Leverage getting more out of the same thing. Output comes from valued leverage. I do more and get more from what I do. The way I get more from what I do is to first do everything I do better. No distractions, one thing for a long time. Anything can become big with time. When I align attractions to a single cause and I keep working on it, success will look effortless and always from the outside, but I will know it comes from the years of saying it, everything. I also realized I spent the entirety of last year actually doing this type of thing, of like just speaking into the camera and like hoping something will come of it. But you gotta like not only sit down in front of the computer and speak in the camera, but also the right things and about the right topics. And that's what I never before understood. Now I understand the things that I didn't understand before. How things really work. Very interesting. All right, great. So with that, let us get the mental fortitude back in place. Coaching con presentation. Exactly. And here are the objection overcomes. All right, great. So the first one is going to be time, value. Here's the fit. Time, value, time. Okay, so now it's not a good time. I'm too busy. Yeah, tomorrow's already Saturday. Ah, man, not a good weekend. Yeah, it feels very disempowering when you like weak and when you have bad habit, and it affects many different things in so many different ways. It's very, very, very interesting. But it's good to process that, and it's good to overcome that for sure. All right, so now is not a good time. I am too busy. Macros. This is a busy season. I got a lot of me. Totally understand. There's good news. The busier you are, the better time it is to start, because life is always going to have busy seasons, and if you can't figure out how to do it during busy season, then this isn't going to last. And you want this to last, right? Then what better time to do it? On top of that, if you are busy now, what better time to have all the support, but when you need it most, right? Intuitive. Do you want this to be something that lasts for the long term? Do you want this to last in the long run, or do you think you're going to be busy again in the future when you don't think it would be best to start now when you're busy, because you learn it how to do it when you're busy, you're able to do it forever. If you can learn it during the perfect circumstance, then you're going to fall off when it gets busy again. It isn't the time that you want for the most support. Okay, micro. I used to say the same thing, that my friend showed me my phone, and I'm going to tell the story of how they actually found time for me based on what I'm already doing. Okay. You know what? I had the same issue, and I used to complain all the time how I didn't have the time to be successful and do the things I needed to do, and my friend got so sick and tired of me saying that he pulled out my phone and said, I guess I found you time, didn't I? Okay. And the first thing that any program is going to do, if it's a good program, is to cut out 90% of the things you are doing that is causing you to feel overwhelmed, which is probably the real reason you feel you don't have the time. Jeff Bezos has the same thing. The same time as you. It's just, what are the things that you are doing that he is not? It is not about adding things to your plate, it's about removing the things that are not working, because clearly everything that you are doing that is filling up your time is not making you more clear. So you are doing the wrong things. There's going to be plenty of time, because all of the stuff that you are doing now is not working. When-then fallacy. I found out that this was called the when-then fallacy. When I have more time, then I do this. You don't start coaching once you have more time. You don't go to the hospital once you have the energy. You feel a little better. Value. I can't afford it. Why a lot is good. Why it is not a lot. What money is good for anyways, and why you don't need the money to begin with. Why it costing a lot is good. This is exactly why you'll be successful. Means a lot to you, line in the sand. Would you even believe that if I said what was 1/10 of the price? How long do you want to have I can't afford it to be on your list of problems in life? When the prospect gasps, is this a lot of money to you? When he says no, then I go ahead and close. When he says yes, that is the exact reason why you're going to be successful, because there are other people I think, you know what, they are not all in on that, but the question is, do you want to draw a line in the sand and go all in on it? Do you want to step over the line and be the person you want to be? Because I can tell you that it is not whether this works or not. I have already proven that is the question, whether you work or not. So if you put more on the line, you have a higher likelihood of being successful. So you should be the last person that is worried about that. I am more excited because best stories are always coming from people like you in this exact situation. That should not be a reason to not do it. That should be a reason to do it. Why it is not a lot. If all that it did was this, would it be worth it? When it's a belief, so at what point would it be more unreasonable to believe than not to believe, compared to 4-year degree or a franchise? When the prospect says yes to it being worth it, then it is not about the price, it is about whether you believe me. Price anchor. Well, there's no degree in being proficient in life. That's why the alternative education industry exists. And it's because the formal education has failed most of us in preparing us to live a good life. Do you have a degree? Some of these degrees take 3 to 4 years and $50,000 to $100,000. It doesn't raise your happiness level. So what is money good for anyways? The money is going to get spent either way. 12 months from now, you're buying the lessons from this program either way. So what's the money good for anyway? Best case, worst case. Both options are risk-free. Only one gets you to your goal. So you're going to spend the money anyways over the next 12 months. Not only are you going to spend it, you're going to buy the program. The question is whether you're going to pay for it in money or whether you're going to pay for it in time. You can learn every single lesson that is in this program, but do you want to take 12 weeks or 12 years? And the question is, are you going to live 1,000 lifetimes because of the 1,000 people that we helped just like you and gathered all those lessons and put them together so you don't have to trial and error for the entire period of time? So the question is not whether you're going to buy it or not, but how do you want to pay? So you're going to spend the money anyways. The question is whether you spend it on stuff that doesn't get you anywhere or on things that are going to get you somewhere, and no matter what you're going to buy, the program is just going to pay with time, or are you paying with money? And if we're being real, you have probably been paying with time for the last 6 years. How has that been working for you? Do you want to do more of that? 4. Resourcefulness, not resources. You know what self-made millionaires and you have in common. Both started from zero. Let me prove it to you. That you have resourcefulness, unexpected bills, life-saving surgery, need resourcefulness, not resources. Do you know a self-made millionaire that started with nothing? What is the difference between him and you? Nothing. You're both at zero. That proves it is not about the resources they had, but it is about how resourceful they were. So the question is, do you want to have power or do you want to not have power? Do you think there is anybody in your situation or worse who has made this happen and has achieved this? If the answer is yes, if they can, why can't you? Have you ever had an unexpected bill come up? Have you found a way to do it because you have the ability to be resourceful when it is for somebody else, but not for you? You can be powerful when somebody else needs it, but not for yourself. Fit, new identity, new priorities, pain of change, and hypothetical. New identity, new priorities. We vote with our dollars with the things that we care about. Sephora story, new identity, new priorities. We vote with our dollars about the things that we care about, and if you show me what somebody is spending their money on and their time on, I can show you what their future looks like. And to tell you an interesting story, I had somebody who was just like you, who was like, I don't want to do this either. I told you the story. Can I tell you it? Okay, great. So new identity, new priorities. That's the fit. Yeah, for money, it's like, why a lot of money is good? Why is not a lot of money? What money is good for anyways? You're going to pay with the lessons regardless. You're going to pay for the lessons regardless anyways. Right? So this is the value. Why a lot is good, why it's not a lot, what money is good for anyways, and why you don't need money in the first place. You don't need the money, you need the resourcefulness. You need the skill to make the money and then the resourcefulness to put that much action into place so that you actually get the money. Right? Right? That's really what all of this is all about. Alright, value. So that's value. First of all, timing. It's like it can be there is a busy season or I generally have little time currently. So if it is a busy season, then there is no better way than to start with right now because you're already busy. Will you be busy in the future? Wouldn't it be better then to actually learn this right now and currently rather than in the moment when you're not that busy? Okay, great. Value, I can't afford it. So why a lot is good? Value, right? This is great. Why a lot is good. So the reason that is a lot for you basically means that you will work harder and you will appreciate it more because it's more for you specifically. Why it is not a lot compared to a college degree. What money is good for anyways, you're going to pay for the lessons regardless. You're going to either pay for the lessons with money or you pay with the lessons for the lessons with time, with your time. And so the question is just how do you want to pay? It's not just whether you want the lesson. You get the lesson served anyway. That's how life works. You get the lesson served. Then it's just the question, do you want to pay for it in money or do you want to pay for it in time, right? And then why you don't need money. Right? Because you need resourcefulness, not resources. Fit, new identity, new time. I don't think that is really what I want. Okay, well, new identity, new time, right? Pain of change and then hypothetical. Okay, what would make it a yes? What would make it a no? Right? So there's time, there's value, and there's fit. I don't know whether that is really for me. I don't know whether I can really actually do this. I don't know whether this is the right thing for me to do. Right? So that's the fit. I don't know if this can work. I don't know if this is the right thing for me. Are you in enough pain? That is the question, hypothetical. Or if this were perfect, would you do it? On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you at? What would make it a 10 and why isn't it a 1? What would make it a 10? Okay, so why isn't it a 1? So why isn't it a 1? Okay, I understand. Okay, that makes sense. So it is better than a 1, but it's not quite a 10 yet. So what would really make it a 10, in your opinion? Okay, got it. What's the difference between perfection and what we've got? When he says, I don't know, right, it sounds like there's nothing to do with the program, but it's all about to do with you. Let's talk about that. If the program had everything you needed, would you invest in it? So what's missing? If we added that piece in, would you be in? Okay. Authority. I have to talk to my business partner, my spouse. Isolate and collapse the foil. Realize they have already given you permission and realize that they've never had the permission in the first place. Right, so these are outside circumstances. It's time, it's value, and it's fit. Then we have the authority of I have to talk to my partner, I have to talk to my spouse. What do you think they wouldn't like? Right? Approve of the current struggle. Roles reversed. Support, not permission. It's your decision if they say no resentment and 3-day no sweat guarantee. Right? Isolate and collapse the foil. Realize they have already given permission and realize that they've never needed the permission in the first place. So what do you think they wouldn't like? What part of that do you think they would not approve of? Okay, do they approve of the current struggle? Do they like this current struggle? Okay, that's interesting. Support, not permission. You're actually asking for support, you're not really asking for permission. It is your decision. If they say no, you're going to resent them. Right? 3-day no sweat guarantee. Do they approve of your current struggle? Are they happy that you are struggling? Then why wouldn't they approve of something that is going to fix something they already don't approve of? They are not happy with how you are currently doing. Why would they be against something that is already making them unhappy? Let me ask you this. If the roles were reversed and your husband needed this to make what he wants, to make his dream happen, would you support him? Then why wouldn't you support you? And I think the real problem is what we're dealing with here is because you're asking for permission and not support, because it is your life, not theirs. And what happens is if you give this power to them, and 2 years from now you're still fat, who are you going to blame? Them. And so that's when you will have resentful marriage because you didn't own your shit. And I'm not saying you should explain the decision to them, but the way you explain it to them is by just say which is, I don't do this for me, I'm going to end up resenting you and I don't want that. And instead of bitching to you every day how I'm not liking my body, I'm doing this and I'm joining this group of supportive community of people just like me, crazy enough, got to go to college, but we're at entrepreneur school. Nobody teaches this stuff. But it turns out that there are people who teach it just for this specific industry. And instead of whining to you how I'm going to show up, what I'm committed to, and I'm going to be a better husband, I'm not going to bitch to you about this stuff, I'm going to take this seriously, I'm going all in, and I'm not asking your permission, I'm asking for your support. 3-day no sweat guarantee. If she comes to you and she says, darling, I don't want you to be happy, I want you to forever carry these things inside of you and not be present with your kids because these inner things absorb your energy. I don't want you to be the best person that you can be because this will make me insecure. I might lose you because you're better and more attractive. Not only am I going to be able to take my hands off you, but also other women are going to turn heads when they perceive your energy after this transformation. If she says that to you, then you just call me and we tear up the agreement. Fair enough. Okay, avoidance. I have to think about it. Okay, past, present, future, right? Avoidance. Then we have the 3-day, okay, for authority with a 3-day no sweat guarantee. You're asking permission, not support, and you actually didn't even need permission in the first place, right? You're asking permission, not support, and you're actually only asking kind of permission in the first place, right? Asking permission, not support. Role, do they approve of your current struggle? Do they approve of your current struggle? Role reversal, right? And then support, not permission, and then it's your decision. If they say no, there will be resentment, and then the 3-day no sweat guarantee, right? And then 5, avoidance. I have to think about it. Past, present, and future. In the past. Now, this is not a fast decision. You've been deciding this for years. You come this far, 6 inches from goal. Think maybe you're here because you struggled to pull triggers in the past. Tired of another year of almost? How much has not deciding cost you? I feel like this happened so fast. I just got on the phone with you. I don't know who you are. Hey, this is not a fast decision. I've been making this decision for the last 5 years. You continue to make it. All we are saying is that you're actually starting to do something about it. So how long did you want to solve this? A long time. So this is not a fast decision at all. The thing is, you saw my content, you have joined my free community, you have registered here, there, you blocked the time, you showed up here, you are 6 inches from goal. This is not a fast decision at all. You did all of these things to get here because it is important to you. So don't tell that distortions stop you from getting what you want. It's fear, right? Let's face that. What are you afraid of having happen? All right, this is great.